jiu-jitsu tonight with a knife. So, of course, we don't have the kimono on tonight. We're just in our regular clothes. And right now what's happening is these guys are rolling around. They're doing some very cooperative kind of flow on the ground, which I think is crucial to any kind of jiu-jitsu training, because we have to develop a sensitivity and awareness. We have to have positional training so we can feel the positions, how we transition into and out of those, and we look for if submission opportunities or upgrade opportunities are available, and we see what we can do there. What has happened now, we're kind of in the second phase of this, because that was the first phase, just cooperative rolling. Now we've added into the mix, we've added a knife. So these are practice knives. Even this one's folder is still a trainer. So these guys each have a knife in their hand. They've been instructed not to use this as a weapon right now, because we're in the second phase of this. So this just is about us moving around in the positions, getting used to the idea that this person has this weapon in their hand, even though they're not trying to use it as a knife right now. So what's happening is we're gradually building up, and you'll see what happens in the next phases of it. So we'll kind of check these guys out a little bit. Sorry, what's the name? It's funny, I said about 10 different times not to pay too much attention to the knife, but everybody is naturally going to gravitate toward it and start treating it like it's a weapon defense already. That's fine, it's okay. We're just kind of building up at this point. So if you see them in some positions, and I can already hear the keys clicking, and people are saying you should never be in that position whenever a knife is involved, it's okay. They've been instructed specifically not to treat the knife with too much intensity just yet. They have to build up to this. Okay, guys, if you haven't switched who has the knife yet, switch now, please. So it doesn't matter. You can go hammer grip or ice pick grip. It doesn't matter right now. You switch if you want to. Right. So you notice two guys I have very big privilege with me tonight is Jason Hawkins is also helping me tonight with some technical considerations. He is my teacher for 20-something years, so I don't know, he's been my teacher longer than anyone else has for just about everything. So of course we get our jiu-jitsu from Hoist Gracie, but in addition to being a black belt under Hoist Gracie, Jason Hawkins is also a full instructor under Dan and Santo, and has Jason, how long have you been training martial arts?
Oh my gosh, about 35 years martial arts. Had to school here for about 25, I guess.
Yeah. So when with your Filipino martial arts training, how long? Where's it all come from? What's it all about?
What's it all about? Well, I started, my teacher I started with Jeff Westfall, actually, at the Rising Phoenix Academy in Evansville, and he very graciously introduced me to Dan and Asana. Tuhan Dan and Asana. So I started training with him, and I got my instructorship with him in 1997. I'm like 97, yeah. In 97, and also along with that in Jeet Kune Do, also under Dan and Asana. Yeah, so then we'd already kind of incorporating it into the academy just from with Jeff, and then kind of I guess got the official stamp.
Because it was kind of interesting, because when I started with you, the type of jiu-jitsu that we were doing had already a Filipino background.
Right.
Because Master Fernando
Visitacion was he was a teacher of Professor Moses Powell. So the Sanuka-Sru system is what I originally started in with Noel Wag, and it was funny when I saw my first official Japanese jiu-jitsu class that I was exposed to. I was like, oh, that doesn't look like what we're doing. And then when I got into Filipino martial arts, I was like, wow, it looks a little more like that. So it was actually a nice blend of the two, actually.
Right. Okay. So let's get these guys going on something else now. Hey guys, come out, please. Everybody, nobody's too sweaty yet. So here's what I want to have happen next. First of all, let's hang out for a second and discuss questions, concerns, comments, observations that you guys are already having. If you've never rolled around like this with a knife involved, then I mean, again, I told you guys don't worry too much about it. It's just somebody has something in their hand, and it's what do you guys notice? Anybody notice anything about what it does for either side? What do you think?
Yeah, the knife sometimes seems like if an unarmed opponent grabs and mobilizes the knife, the guy with the knife doesn't want to give it up. He ties up both of his hands. He can get hit.
For sure.
Vice versa, the guy being attacked isn't paying attention to the.
Yeah, so you kind of get into like a tug of war sometimes. Okay, good. Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of that. And again, this is such a controlled environment. It's really hard to replicate exactly. We can't say this is exactly what's going to happen. I mean, we could roll 100% and make this as realistic as we want to, and we're still going to have an element of lack of realism. But this is. I want to build up gradually to something that's better than nothing. It's just like if we roll full out and here and we go hardcore at it, and you're bleeding at the end of it, and you're sweating, and you feel like, man, I've really been in a fight. You still haven't been in a fight. I mean, it's very close, right? But I mean, when you're training martial arts, I think all we're doing is building the verisimilitude of violence. I mean, so when you are introduced to a violent situation, then the training that you've done to get you accustomed to that violent situation is going to give you an advantage over somebody who doesn't train. That's all we're doing for any kind of martial arts.
Just approximation. We're just learning through approximation every time. We can only get so close, but listen, the better trained you guys are, like with the technique and the drills, the better approximation you can make without becoming injured. That's the trick.
Right.
Like Eli said, we can go all out, but somebody's probably going to get hurt, and you're going to have to take time off from the training. The better trained you are, the closer you can approximate the real thing without being injured. That's a skill level you're trying to get to.
And it would be reckless too if that was our training. So I mean, it's a little disingenuous to think that anybody, even if it's MMA, to think that those guys even go in and train 100% hardcore, smashing each other every single training session. That's not true. Now their training sessions are going to be more hardcore than a lot of us because they're more accustomed to it. Just like if I go down into the weight room downstairs and I go to max out, and I sit down on the bench and put my max like 475 on it, and then I go do it. I don't have any warm up. I don't have technique. I don't have prior training, and I haven't gradually built up to that. First rep, I'm going to get injured. But it's like anything else. You build up, you gradually increase. Now we're able to come in here and go harder. Like we can stay in here, and Jason and I can go very hard, rolling, and not get injured. Whereas a couple people come in 6 weeks can go half as hard as we do. They're going to get badly injured because they don't have the self-awareness, the bodily awareness, of the functionality. So anyway, all that aside, let's change a little bit the element of the drill. Now. What I would like is to treat this a little bit more stabby and slicey. So the objective for the person with the knife now is going to be a little bit more about damage. We're still not upping the intensity too terribly much, but we are changing the objective that the person with the weapon is doing. So whenever we're rolling now, I am thinking about where I can place this knife, and that would be some dangerous or fatal zones, right? So now you have a very different consideration. Even though we're going lighter, I think that what a lot of you guys are going to find is whenever you're going lighter like this, you still have an extra sense of urgency. There's going to be a little less of this stuff and a little more this stuff, right? So that's kind of the objective now. To build on top of that, one more element too, I would like you to try to find somewhere on your person that you can put this knife. If you don't have a clip, you don't have pockets, because you're wearing defense or something, it's okay, just stick it in the side, somewhere that can kind of hang out there for a little bit. The idea is that the weapon gets introduced like sometime during the roll of your choosing, right? Okay, does this make sense? So decide first of all who's got the weapon, make sure you got it on your person somewhere, and then let's go ahead and start flowing like the first round that we did. And then during it, the weapon comes out, and you're not going to go all crazy closed caption TV or closed circuit TV on the guy, but you are going to be able to cut, slice, place the knife on the person.
You can also, guys, hold it like if it won't stay in your gi pants or anything, just turn the knife upside down like in a pakal or ice pick, and then when you flip it around, that'll be you engaging it. So that might be another way to pretend hide it.
Any questions? No? Let's go. All right. Any questions?
Not yet.
Okay. Good deal. What's interesting too is that they haven't been instructed one way or the other whether or not to use strikes for the unarmed person or for the armed person. So that's going to be kind of interesting because like up to now we've just been kind of keeping us in grappling mode the same way we would treat rolling in a jiu-jitsu class. So we're going to see what these guys choose to do here. So much of knife work on the ground is we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to use things that we know are solid and foundation that have been proven. But there's also so much experimentation that has to constantly be taking place over and over again. Just like with any training in martial art. You can't just come in here and I stand in front of everybody and just say, do this, this, and this, and then they regurgitate the information back at me, and then they're completely lost as far as their own creativity in a situation.
Okay. You guys haven't switched yet? Let's switch.
Same thing.
Assuming your partner's still alive, I'm practicing for prison.
Right, so question about the confusion about the context of the DVD. So thank you, JD. and shout out to JD Caputo for Funker Martial Arts. He was mentioning about there's been a lot of buzz about a DVD that's coming out, The Bladed Grappler. It's going to be out very soon, if not tomorrow, then very, very soon, maybe at least for digital download, something like that. Anyway, the context of the DVD, context of this kind of training in general, is not that I am, because I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, that I'm advocating seeing somebody with a weapon that's already been displayed in a fight and advancing on them and taking them to the ground and trying to out-grapple them and get the weapon away from them. But the reality of fighting them is that fights get into a clinch range, whether you want them to or not. Whether you're trained or not, they tend to happen. If you don't believe in the frequency in which fights get into a clinch range, watch a boxing match where two guys are trying to stay in a striking range and see how many times those guys clinch up. So that's a pretty good indicator. Now, because conflict tends to travel this way, not this way, not just circling like an MMA fight, but if we're intent on doing each other harm, especially one of us, conflict tends to not only get to the clinch range, but also go to the ground. So if I did, for whatever reason, like that I had to clinch with this person, or it just happened, and the fight does go to the ground, and the weapon has not been deployed prior to this, then I need to be able to, in a self-defense situation, if I am going to employ grappling skills and positions, transitions, and submissions, I have to know, I have to be able to do that in at least with consideration to the possibility of a weapon. And if a weapon does get deployed, I need to know how to be able to best control and keep myself safe in that situation, even if a weapon is involved, which raises the stakes very high. You know, this is not the kind of training that I would have somebody come in and like day 2, day 3, week 7, say, okay, let's start rolling around with a knife. That's kind of like teaching somebody, you know, how to fly before they can walk. So this is something that you have to have the fundamental basis of skills that build up to this. You have to already know about ground positioning and about jiu-jitsu, and you have to have a good handle on it before you ever think about incorporating a weapon. Just like standing training. Like if you don't learn about like range and distance and how to throw a proper strike, then you have no business learning about weapons defenses or how to use weapons offensively for that matter, in my opinion. So that's kind of the context of this. Okay? This is not typical. Okay. We get carried away sometimes, so it just happens. Yeah. But look, everybody's smiling. As long as they're smiling, it's okay. Okay, guys, good. That's a good break. Okay, so we both had turns killing each other already. Take a little bit of a breather. If you want to grab a drink of water, that's fine. Then come back. Let's discuss a couple things real quick. Yeah, go ahead. Let's go ahead and be thinking about like some of the things that we're already seeing, some of the things we're already noticing about how we have to change. And not just that, but what things stay the same? What not just change? How do we change and modify our ground positions and our movement, everything like that? But what stays the same? What stays consistent? Whether you're just rolling with the guy and it's just a fight, right? Or it stays the same whether he has a weapon or not. Is there anything like that? What do you guys say?
Position is still, I used to fight the position first.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of found that sometimes you get fixated on holding the arm with the knife, but sometimes it's better to grab something else like control the head.
Right. Okay.
So I kind of learned that as we were rolling towards the end.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir.
More is my best friend of not.
More?
Yeah, that's no bad.
Well, I mean, it depends. It depends. Like, why you say that?
You reach behind, you got more behind your back. You reach back and grab it.
Switch hands like that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it depends on position. Like more from the bottom, maybe not the best idea. That's a good point, and I want to talk about kind of a specific consideration because I found that too in a lot of training that some of the things that you would expect were good like that. And also some of our favorite friends, like the straight arm lock, right? The triangle. The triangle. I can't hardly find a good use for a triangle when the guy has a knife. Like I can't really figure that out, and I don't really need to. I think there's other things that we can deal with that. But yeah, so one of the big considerations, one of the big things that we need to look for, whether standing or on the ground, is two-on-one control. When I double up my efforts about controlling the limb that has the weapon, it's usually a good idea. So something that we need to take into consideration is how, when we're on the ground, does the two-on-one change? It doesn't. Two-on-one when we're standing, typically we think about wrestling, we think about arm ties and arm drags and that kind of thing is two-on-one. Kimura grip is a two-on-one, right? But also now I have more access to all four limbs for control points. So a two-on-one may be like, if I'm on top here, right? A two-on-one may be this, right? It doesn't just have to be this, right? It can be this. And I saw, a few of you guys, oh my God. But I saw a few of you guys doing this, but not a lot. And I didn't specifically say one way or another to do it or not do it. But I mean, if he can use a knife, I can hit it, right? And I mean, not just hit, because I mean, this is okay, yeah. But I mean, this too. I mean, I can like dig in his eyeball. He's trying to cut me. He's trying to stab me. So everything's kind of on the table here. I don't have to be as super humane. This is not drunk uncle principle. This is like lethality now. So yeah, this now is a two-on-one consideration. Yeah, that's a good point. When we're talking about Kimura, and you're talking about specifically from the guard. Now, Kimura from top side control, Kimura from mount maybe, might still be a solid technique. But yeah, there is that possibility of changing hands, right? So that's something we have to take into effect. So let's talk though about if he's here, and I see the opportunity here, like this way. If I'm going for Kimura, so Jeremy, what you were saying is like if I'm here like this, and he can reach behind, right? Yeah, like this here, and switch hands. So, okay, what's my other option? We were looking at omoplata here, like this. My problem with omoplata is like when I've trained, this is a personal experience, when I train omoplata here, if I get kind of a standard kind of omoplata here, is that if this were reverse grip, this were ice pick grip, this is not good for me to go completely parallel to him. I can take some serious damage here. So, let's take like worst case scenario. If this is ice pick grip here, and I do have to control it, and we've said that maybe Kimura grip is not the best, maybe omoplata is not the best because it puts me too parallel and exposes my side here. Then, if I do a modified omoplata here, right? So this here, this S-curve is a really strong connection like this. Okay? Now, I'm not just trying to snake in and look to conform and everything, right? But what I'm looking to do is get this parallel to his arm and not farther. I'm not trying to push my knee all the way through. But what I am going to do here is I can use this here to kick here or to axe down this way, right? But after the initial kicking here, look, I want to weave this through to the other side here. And I want to, as I sit up, the pressure of this is driving his shoulder into the floor here. Yeah. So he has to kind of go with that pressure a little bit. This is very difficult for Jason now to kind of move around this. What's a typical kind of defense to a shoulder lock or to an omoplata type of thing is to roll over the shoulder being attacked, right? That's not really happening because this frame of underneath his neck here, there's no way. I mean, he'd have to like pull his head off. Actually, all he would have to do is get his head underneath here like that. But because of how I'm adjusting the angle and driving this in, that's going to be really hard for him to do that. Now, because of the pressure here too, now I have this leg here, this leg configuration, and this control on the wrist. But again, I want to not just go 2-on-1, I go like 4-on-1 if I can, and I get as much control over this as possible so he loses the range of motion to be able to do the damage, right? So now from here, now I can look to come here and actually strip the weapon if I need to. Okay? These really hold on, he's got a strong grip, we can go back to doing damage here, right? Again, and do nasty stuff. If I have the position that reinforces it, and we can get more violent with it, right? And I can still clank on the shoulder and everything until I can try to get this weapon away from me, right? Okay. Then I still need to get up and get out. Whether and to what degree I use his weapon back on him, or if I have a weapon of my own that I can deploy at that point to use on him, that's going to depend on the context of the situation. And I think it's dangerous. Jason has always instilled in me how dangerous it is for us as martial arts instructors, as self-defense instructors, to delve too much into the psychology of the potential of the situation or the potential atmosphere of it. Can you speak on that any, Jason?
Like getting yourself into.
Yeah, I don't want to pontificate too much on if it's this situation, then do this.
Yeah.
If it's that, do this.
Yes. Yeah, I think when you start getting really specific like that, you narrowed yourself down to a topic you boxed yourself in, right? Our idea as martial artists is to become adaptive. That's almost like the opposite of it, right? That's narrowing us down, and it's making a really a guess that you don't have. Like any of these techniques that we're doing are really trying to generate an idea, a principle to instill in us that we can use in multiple different situations, not just that specific one. Right? We don't want to narrow ourselves down. We want to expand our awareness, not, so trying to guess, the guy may do this, the guy may do that. If you're with a pretty solid system, a solid instructor, then he's not going to teach too many techniques. He's going to teach you the main ones, and you're going to practice them for a long time. From that, what's the saying? From the one thing comes to 10,000 things. All right? So, but that one thing that he shows you has to be from his years of experience and saying, this is too narrow, may or may not happen, but this is far-reaching.
That's for me. I like to have a lot of techniques. I like to do a lot of techniques. I'm a technique collector. When I see something shiny and new, I like to gravitate toward it and figure it out. But I think I've been doing this long enough to where I've kind of realized that all it's doing is kind of helping to refine a lens. But if after decades of experience of practicing martial, after years of experience of practicing, if you've been in like Jason's saying, a solid system and around solid instructors, then you should be attracted to techniques that are principally sound, whether you realize it explicitly or implicitly. What attracts you to a technique should be the validity of it. It shouldn't be just that, oh, that looks really cool. I see guys do like jumping 360 spinning kicks and stuff, and that looks cool, but it looks cool to me the same way that parkour looks cool. I don't put a lot into its martial applicability. If I'm attracted to a self-defense move, the thing that's attractive to me is not how flashy it is or how badass the guy that's doing it looks, and how badly he's beating up his guy he's performing it on. That it's the technically sound point that I know from feeling that situation is I could do that.
He's like I was saying at the beginning, we don't have to change the jiu-jitsu too much. If the technique is sound, it'll work on a lot of different levels. So when I put the knife in my hand, yeah, there might be considerations, of course, because the conditions have changed somewhat. But overall, the underlying principle of how we're moving wouldn't change. Right? Does that kind of make sense? So that's what would be a solid technique. It checks the box on several different levels. When you guys train, the more you train, that becomes, don't worry. It's you guys.
So just to have something kind of concrete to sink our teeth into, so that it's not all just kind of your own experimentation tonight. Let's go ahead and review this technique because of the consideration for the Kimura and also the concern about the ability to switch hands, about the ability to maneuver the knife around from this position. Because I think that the guard particularly is a position where if the person had not deployed the knife, and it was maybe because there wasn't maybe that much of a necessity, but it got into this range and the first opportunity for this person to deploy the knife and out of fear or they weren't doing very well in the fight, and then they deploy it, I think the guard is a big one. Because that's a place where you can feel like I'm on top, I'm doing well, and then see pretty quickly I'm not doing as well as I thought. Now maybe it's a good time to pull out the knife that I run with me. So Let's look at this technique again. Does anybody need to see the movement? You guys got it? Yeah. Okay, so here. So if we can do either one. We can do either one on this one. That's the good part about this one. So what's going to happen here is I want to control this immediately this way, right? But again, instead of going here, right? I can use a similar grip here, 1 and 2, and I'm going to move into this omoplata type position. So if you want to put your foot on the floor, it's okay. If you can make it to the hip, it's okay. Right? I'm not going to be too prescriptive about this because I don't know if you noticed me here as a knife. So we're going to go here and move this in front here. But instead of continuing to go parallel, I'm going to stay perpendicular like this. And drop in and use this one here. We're going to simulate hitting here like this. Right? Just simulate. Right? I'll sit up here and I'm pushing like this one underneath my right, and I'm figure four-ing the legs, stretching the guy out. Watch out for this. This is a lot of pressure on the neck and on the shoulder here. I'm controlling the wrist the whole way up. I may have to post on this hand for a moment, but by that time, this should be in the wedge of my hip with a lot of pressure on the shoulder, and I should be able to have pretty good control over it while I go to sit up, right? Then I can come through here with the wrist lock to try to break this here. Don't forget that you can still go back and do that. Okay? Questions? Let's practice this one, guys. Any questions from our
Yes, you have a few.
All right. Let's see here.
What was the first one?
Can I get info on seminar? Okay, seminars. I'm going to be this weekend, June 3rd, in Crossville, Tennessee. That is, well, it's in Crossville, Tennessee. It's at Brick House Martial Arts, and so you can check there on the Facebook page for Brick House Martial Arts, or on my Facebook page. It's Eli Knight on Facebook. I don't know what my thing is. Seminars after that. The next one is going to be in Paducah, Kentucky, and it's going to be a 2-day seminar, and it's going to be about 6 hours each day, and it's going to be a tandem seminar that I'm doing with Sonny Puzikas, and so we're both going to do standing and ground knife defense, knife work, August 4th and 5th in Paducah, Kentucky at Three Rivers Martial Arts. After that, Sonny and I are going to do a couple more, one in Sarasota, Florida, and one in Dallas, Texas, and then Salt Lake City after that. Next question.
Someone asked, do you have to be a black belt to attend the seminars?
Oh, no. I want this to be something that, again, like I was saying, this isn't something that you should start out with, but it's something that at any level, being exposed to it is not bad. It's just the idea is that I don't ever want anybody to think that regardless of what the topic of a seminar or a class that I'm teaching, that you're going to come to that class and walk away with the ability to do that. It requires training. Every martial art does. If somebody ever tries to sell you on a bill of goods and says, come to this seminar, and at the end of it, you're going to be able to do this, then don't go to that seminar, right? What you should pick up from a seminar is stuff that, an understanding of the mechanics, something enough to go and drill it, and then after you drill it and drill it and drill it, then you develop the ability to do it, and you also develop a refinement to be able to do your own thing too. So, long story short, of course you don't have to be a black belt to go to the seminar. Every level is welcome. So, okay?
Anything else?
Okay, good deal. Let's not monopolize the Funker page all night long, but again, I'm Eli Knight. Thank you for watching Funker Martial Arts, guys. This is Jason Hawkins. We've been doing some knife work at Three Rivers Martial Arts Academy in Paducah. Check out more videos on Funker Martial Arts and on Funker Tactical and on the Funker Facebook page. Yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly. I'm happy to field any of them. You can leave comments on this even after we're not live anymore, and I'll try my best to get back in touch with you guys. Thank you guys for watching.